the fallout. We got some fallout. We definitely got some fallout. Some things, just things going on in Knick land. You know, obviously we got some fans who are disappointed, some fans who feel pretty good about what's going on. I, for one, I'm disappointed that we had to trade Kristaps Porzingis, but I look at our situation, and given the circumstances surrounding our situation, I actually feel pretty good. You know, some people look at me and say that I'm crazy. It's cool. But I feel good about it. We have the potential. We could potentially have $77 million in cap space. We'll probably be somewhere around $75 million in cap space. The lowest we can be is about $68 million in cap space, depending on our, you know, where we pick in the draft. You know, there's going to be different salaries associated with that. But I look at it like this. On our squad right now, we got some young guys. We got Kevin Knox. We got Frank Ntilikina. We got Alonzo Trier. We got Mitchell Robinson. We now have Dennis Smith Jr. Whether or not you like him, you know, I haven't been crazy about him, but I'm willing to take a look and see what he can do for us. Right? So we have these guys, young guys. Not only do we have young guys, but now we have cap space where we can possibly add stars if that's how we so choose to act. Not only can we add stars, but we can do it without using our first round draft picks, which, by the way, we do have 7 of them in the next 4 to 5 years. 7 first round draft picks. And we also have second round draft picks. All right, so the cupboard is not bare. We have things. We have assets, believe it or not. Folks, we have assets. Some people don't want to believe that we have assets, and I get it. Right? I get it, you know, because it's still a shock to a lot of, still a shock to a lot of people, you know, shock to people's system, you know, that, you know, with what we did and how fast it went down. But, you know, as we look at the fallout of everything, we are realizing that this didn't just happen yesterday. This was in the works. The meeting yesterday was 5 minutes long. 5 minutes long. Which means they came in and said, listen, we called you in because we want to know, do you want to be here or not? If you don't want to be here, we got a trade in place, set up, ready to go right now. We'll ship you out to Dallas. If you want to be here, let us know. We can rock. We can go forward. His camp said, we don't want to be here. So they said, okay, let's go. Let's get it done. Right? Silent assassin, Scott Perry. That's what he is. I'm sorry, Mark. I know you don't want to hear that. Right? But that's what he is, silent assassin. I'm actually pretty encouraged that given the situation, we were able to do what we did. I think we did a good job. Now, where am I discouraged? I'm discouraged that a young guy like KP was unhappy here. Now, sometimes that could, there are a lot of things surrounding that situation, right? It could be that he still had the stink on him from the Phil Jackson era and all that stuff that went down, right? And so, you know, there was just some leftover residue. It could be that he just wasn't feeling the whole rebuilding thing and the time that it was going to take, and he wanted to win now. It could be all sorts of things. It could be that the culture wasn't building and that there's a bad culture that we don't know about. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I guess, you know, we have to take the time to see. We'll see in the coming, you know, some stuff will come out. Some stuff will come out. One thing I will say is that I was disappointed in Porzingis. I was disappointed in the way that Porzingis handled himself after being traded. right? And to me, maybe not to you, but to me, that sends a red flag, right? Sends a red flag about Porzingis, that maybe him and his camp just weren't mature enough to handle New York City. Alan Hahn, I was listening to Alan Hahn. And you remember a few years back when KP decided that he wasn't going to show up to his exit meeting. Alan Hahn said he spoke to him, he talked to him, and he told him, don't do this. Spoke to him and his brother, don't do this. Right? This is not the way to handle yourself in New York City. I've lived here. I know what I'm talking about. I've been here my whole life. It's not the way to handle yourself. They looked at him like he didn't know what he was talking about. Right? Signs of immaturity from KP's camp. Let's say KP's camp, maybe not KP. Right? But so I'm just a little bit disappointed in the way that KP handled himself, and this is what I mean. You guys seen it. We looked at it last night. The first thing that KP did on social media, instead of thanking the New York Knicks organization, this is what he does first. It's the first thing he does, right? He puts up his little video of him and Luka clapping hands and, doing what he does. To me, and you know what? Maybe that's just a young kid making a mistake. But to me, it rubbed me the wrong way. It rubbed me the wrong way. It really did. You know what I'm saying? That says to me, like, maybe you had this planned. Maybe when you was in Real Madrid rehabbing, you spoke with Luka and said, I want to come play with you. I don't know. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying I didn't like that. I was disappointed in KP in that way. All right. Then he comes out after he realizes what he did, I think. Then he drops this on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. Says, New York will always have a special place in my heart. Grateful for everybody who made this journey so special for me, for my family, and I. Okay. All right, cool. But you know what? You should have did that from the beginning. In my opinion, you should have did that from the beginning. That should have been what you started with. But then right afterwards, after he sends that out, then he sends this out. Right? Cryptic, kind of cryptic. You guys all seen it. The truth will come out. And I'm assuming in response to, Scott Perry, putting out the reports and saying what he said about KP not wanting, it was apparent that KP no longer wanted to be in New York. He says the truth will come out. To me, I don't know. You know what? You're gone. You're out of here. You're in Dallas. Maybe that's where you wanted to be. Maybe you didn't care where you went. Who knows? Right? You're with your buddy, Luka. Possibly got something positive starting over there, going over there. What's it matter if the truth comes out or not? It's done. Let it be. So I was disappointed in that. Really was disappointed in KP in that aspect. Think he could have handled himself a little bit better. Everyone says that the Knicks are taking a chance here. But you know what? Let's be real. The Dallas Mavericks are taking maybe just as big of a chance as the Knicks are. They got Luka. Now they got KP. And guess what? They're going to have to sign KP. So now they got to, they got to sign KP. They don't know if KP is fully healthy as far as his knee is concerned. They don't know. They're hoping. I hope that he is. But they don't know if he's fully healthy. They're taking a chance. Right? And with what you gave up, as far as your draft picks and your ability to have cap room this summer, you better hope that works out. You better hope it works out, because they could have had some serious cap space. They could have had those draft picks going into the future. So you better hope it works out, because you gave up a little bit to get them, in my opinion. Players may not be star players, but you still gave up something. You gave up flexibility. right? Because you're going to be tied to these two guys for the next few years. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing because they're both young. They're both up and coming. They both have the ability to be superstars. One of them you might be concerned about. I've been listening to his shows all day long. And something that struck me, there's been one player in history that's 7'3" or taller that has not dealt with chronic injuries, especially to their knees. That's been Mark Eaton. One player. I'm not saying it's going to happen to KP. I hope it doesn't. I hope that KP remains healthy for the rest of his career. But I'm just saying, the Dallas Mavericks also took a chance. They're taking a gamble too. I'm going to quickly jump in. I got Isaiah. I got Guillermo here. I'm going to quickly, let these guys say a quick piece with the fallout of this trade, and then we're going to move on and talk about salary cap update and some other things before we get to the game. All right. So let me get to these guys, man. Mark, what's going on? Mark got ice on his cheek. I don't know if,
My wisdom tooth.
Yes, wisdom tooth is hurting him. Go ahead, Mark. Yeah. What's up, man? So how you feeling? It's the day after. How do you feel?
No, last night I was after the stream. I was over it. I looked at both sides of the field and realized what the Knicks did. We just pulled up our pants. We went Milton. That's what Scott Perry did. Yeah. And I always said that he moves militant. So I understood it. But y'all not understanding when you have stake in a player. That's just me, because I'm a fan of him. So y'all have to look at my aspect. I'm a fan of him. And he was trending up. He wasn't trending down. So he still had potential. Even if y'all don't like him or not. Even if y'all don't like him, I liked him. So I'm heavily invested in him. Just like Sim could be heavily invested in Frank and Knox, I could be heavily invested in Porzingis. I have the right. So
you do. You have the right. I will say this. I like Frank Ntilikina a lot. I really do. But if he would trade it, I may be upset. But I may be upset, but I really would try to understand. I always try to understand where both teams are coming from. And I understand where KP was coming from as far as the franchise. And
there we go, Sim. That's what I'm about to bring up, because
and I understand
the way New York media. See, if you live in New York and you read the Daily News and all that stuff, you know how they use words to make people look bad. Period.
Yeah.
They got into a meeting. Porzingis went in there and asked, "What are we doing? How are we doing it? Am I still in it?" The Knicks was skeptical about his injury. Yes, that is big. But another thing, this never happened at this magnitude with a player that was trending. And the funny thing, we didn't have to pay him yet till 2020, till the end of 2020.
You didn't have to pay him to the end of 2020.
We don't have to pay until the end of 2020 because
unless he took the qualifying offer, you didn't have to pay him until the end.
So he said, if you make me take the qualifying offer, right? He's it's not like threatening him, but I'm gonna take the qualifying offer if I come back. If you don't feel like I'm a part of the plan. So you know what? He's betting on himself right now. He's going to Dallas. Cool.
Well, see, I don't think that they ever, and I don't want to go too long on this because we don't have a lot of time. I don't think that they ever figured that KP wasn't part of the plan. I think KP was unhappy with the New York Knicks and the direction.
He was unhappy. He was unhappy. Yeah. He was unhappy with Phil, like how the Phil thing went down. And the thing is, I think when he goes to Dallas, he's going to be embraced the way he wants to be embraced. It's the same thing like with Kevin Durant. Same thing with LeBron James. Some of these guys want to be embraced, like they want to be like. You see what Dirk is to Dallas? That's what these top tier free agents.
We'll see. I want to see. Let me get to Guillermo real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to see because I'm questioning KP's maturity right now with just some things that I've seen. So, Guillermo, I'm sure Guillermo will be back. So I want to see. Hopefully it's. And I'm listening to Alan Hahn, and he says, KP is a good kid. His camp, the people he have in his camp, maybe are not advising him the correct way. We'll see. Guillermo, real quick, man. Now that you've had some time to sleep on it, how you feel?
I'm not as mad anymore, Sim. I think the culture thing is still a problem.
Okay.
What Mark is talking about, I don't like how we dealt with him and his brother. I think we should have taken a hard line to his brother. But Sim, it's hard because when you have a regime change, like we can't atone really truly for what Phil Jackson did. Right. With that whole, what it was. So I can't really get mad at Steve Mills, and I actually hate Steve Mills, but Mills and Perry for trying to salvage this. Right. So on one hand, it's like, hey, we got the best we could, because I don't know if you read the reports. You know that like we tried to trade him to the Suns, and the Suns even want him for Josh Jackson, and also the Pelicans said they didn't want to trade AD for KP. So I think a lot of people overvalue the value of KP. So I mean, it wasn't going to work, but it is what it is. So
yeah.
I'm getting over it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a look real quick. I want to take a look at this salary cap stuff. All right. And yesterday we took a look at it a little bit yesterday, but we weren't able to really see it all on one page. All right. So we're gonna take a look at it right now. Big shout out to Knicks Film School, who breaks this stuff down. So big shout out to Knicks Film School. This is via knicksfilmschool.com. All right, so you can look at it. You can see it right now. If you look at what I have up on the screen, you got DeAndre Jordan, Enes Kanter, Wesley Matthews. Those are our highest paid Knicks right now, currently on the roster. Joakim Noah, we're paying him $18 million this year. We start paying him $6.4 million because of the stretch provision. All right. But those three, they're all expiring contracts. DeAndre Jordan, Enes Kanter, Wesley Matthews, all expiring contracts. They are our highest paid players. All right, go down the line. Mario Hezonja, Ron Baker, who's off the squad, we're paying him this year. Emmanuel Mudiay, Frank Ntilikina, who we have locked up until 2020, 2021. Dennis Smith Jr., we have locked up to 2020, 2021. Kevin Knox, we have locked up to 2020, 2021. Alonzo Trier, we have him the remainder of this year. We do have a hold on him for 2019, 2020. This cap by Knicks Film School assumes that we release his hold. Doesn't mean that we're not going to sign him back. It just assumes that we release his hold to maximize our cap space. Excuse me. You got Luke Cornett, Noah Vonleh, Mitchell Robinson, Damian Dotson, all making less than $2 million a year. All right, our lottery pick, 2019 lottery pick, assuming, let's just assume we get that first pick. That's the best way. When you're talking about budgeting, you assume that the most expensive expense is going to come about. Assuming we get the first pick, that's $9.7 million that we got to account for. You got a minimum roster charge of $6.2 million that we must account for. All right. Our expected expenditures in 2019, 2020, what we have on the books for 2019, 2020 is $38,738,144. That's what's on the books right now for 2019, 2020. The projected salary cap is $109 million. That's the projected salary cap. So our practical cap space for 2019, 2020, and this could be more or less, depending on other things that happen, $70,261,856. It could go up, it could go down a little bit, right? The space that we need to sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, the space that we need to sign them, $70,850,000. We have just enough to sign two max free agents. Now, this is not cutting corners. This is not asking them to take a pay cut. This is max dollars right here. We've maxed them out. We only got pennies left, but we'd have them maxed out. Now, yeah, we might only have pennies left, but you can guarantee that there'll be some vets that'll want to come and sign with these two guys. Some vets will want to come and sign with them, right? Breaking it down, space, what you need for Kevin Durant, 10 plus years in the league, $38,150,000. Space that you need for Kyrie, for being in the league 7 to 9 years, $32,700,000. The chances that one of those guys take a pay cut, I don't know. Probably not. But that's our cap outlook right now. That's what it looks like right now. We have the money. Can you lure those guys in? That's another question. That's another question. But you have the money. Scott Perry seems to be a guy that people respect around the league. He seems to be a guy that has some connections around the league. He's a guy that it seems he has some back channel connections around the league. I wouldn't put it past, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I wouldn't put it past Scott Perry to make something happen when it comes down to this year's free agency. And, if you're looking at it, I'm not ready to say we're done yet. There's a couple of guys. I'm gonna go back to the salary cap. A couple of guys that extend past 2019, 2020, right? Or expect that extend past 2018, 2019. Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox, Dennis Smith Jr., Frank Ntilikina. These guys extend past 2019, 2020. You could maybe move one of those guys. You could move one of those guys if you really needed to try to clear off as much cap space as possible. I'm sure the Knicks will be trying to maybe do something with Enes Kanter by the deadline. And I know that Kanter is an expiring contract, but if they can trade Kanter and bring back another expiring contract that is, instead of $18.6 million, is $22 million, then maybe you clear off a couple, $4 more million. You clear off some more space so that you can add players around those two stars. We'll see what they do. We'll see how they work these things out. But there it is, folks. There it is. We possibly have the ability to, sign two guys and Scott Perry and Steve Mills to use those connections. I'm sure there's some back channel talk going on between those, around the league. There's a lot of talk about Kevin Durant's people in New York. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying there's a lot of talk. You guys been listening. I know you have. You've been listening. You've seen what's going on. All right. I want to know next, what do we do? We got DeAndre Jordan. We got Wesley Matthews. We got Dennis Smith Jr. I want to know what we do with these guys. What do you think we do with these guys? Right? What do you think we do? Do we waive them? Do we trade them? Do we keep them? Do we waive them? Do we trade them? Do we keep them? Right? Let's take a look. DeAndre Jordan. He's 30 years old. 11 points per game. 13.7 rebounds per game. Averages 1.1 blocks per game. Shoots 64.4% from the field. I know a lot of people are going to say, waive him, get him out of here. Right? You don't have to waive him because his contract expires. But is he a guy that you keep? Is he a guy that you bring back? Maybe you bring him back on the veterans minimum if he's willing to accept it. He might be able to get more money elsewhere in the league. But if you sign two guys, if you sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, let's just say you do. If you sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, I'm sorry, Mitchell Robinson's not going to get it at that center spot. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people, I love Mitchell Robinson. I like his potential. He has the potential to be DeAndre Jordan better, probably maybe better. Right? But if you got Kyrie Irving and you got Kevin Durant, Mitchell Robinson's not going to cut it. Mitchell Robinson's not going to cut it. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't waive him right now. I wouldn't waive him so that he can go sign with another team. I'd keep him on the roster. You know what I'm saying? And I start talking to him about, possibilities come free agency. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wouldn't waive him right now. Isaiah, what's poppin', man? What's going on with you, bro?
What's going on, Tim? I had a few things to say.
Okay, well, I don't want to get too far off the what you call it.
Take your time, cause I ended off later because I got a few things to say.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan, do you waive him, trade him, keep him? Tell me what you do.
Me personally, I'll trade him. Like I said, right now we should just get as many assets as we can. I would like to see him train Mitchell Robinson because I think that's what Mitchell Robinson will be in a few years. And there's I think to me, a more athletic version of him, which is crazy because DeAndre Jordan's athletic. But either keep him to mentor Mitchell or trade him to get some more assets.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at Houston. I'm looking at a team that can use a defensive presence. Yeah. So definitely a playoff team. So we definitely get a pick right there.
It's possible. Maybe you can get something. I feel like that. I feel like I would keep him. I'd keep him past the deadline, keep him to the end of the season, and see if he'd be willing to take the minimum if we do sign, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, if we sign one of those guys. Or if we have, there'll be other, it doesn't have to be the minimum, though. There's other thing, there's other ways that you can sign him. It doesn't have to be the minimum. You know what I'm saying? You have exemptions that you can, and all those different things, mid-level exemptions and that kind of stuff that you can use to sign them. Right? So I'd wait because if you get some of those guys, Mitchell Robinson's not going to cut it. All right, next, Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews, 32 years old. Hold up, one second. One second. He's 32 years old. 13.1 points per game. 2.3 rebounds per game. 2.3 assists per game. Field goal percentage is 41.1. His 3-point field goal percentage is 38% from the field. What do you do? Now, I've read that there's been a team that already has inquired about Wesley Matthews. What do you do? Waive him, trade him, keep him?
Trade him because I know definitely a couple of teams need shooters. I can see like Milwaukee, the Sixers. I can see them taking them. I would definitely trade them. To me, there's no point in having them when we got Dot and Zoe. They need more minutes and they need more experience.
Okay.
So I believe trading them.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. I think trading them. If we can let them go, maybe we'll get a second round pick or something like that. That'd be great. Mark, what do you think, man? Wesley Matthews, waive him, trade him, keep him. Could you turn that down in the back for me?
There's teams that want him. Because if we have to take back an expiring contract. So if we trade these two players, we'll trade for expiring contract. I know DeAndre Jordan is wanted in LA. What we would do, we would take Caldwell Pope, his expiring deal, and they'll give us a second round pick. Or there's Houston for DeAndre Jordan. Even for Wesley Matthews, Houston won it because he could shoot. He's not the greatest defender like he used to be, but he can still shoot. Yeah. So those are the two teams right there that we can give him to and get second round picks.
Okay.
But we have to take back expiring deals.
Yeah. You got to take back expirings. I think DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. So either way, they serve a great purpose for us. Yeah, more picks.
Right. I think I would take my chances and seeing if we can keep DeAndre Jordan going into next year on a cheap deal, because if you land some of those guys, Mitchell Robinson ain't gonna cut it. All right, Dennis Smith.
That Anthony Davis is the real thing.
What'd you say?
That Anthony Davis thing is a real thing. They're just waiting on our number one pick.
It's
that is a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's possible. I think it's possible. Hold on. Let me get through this, Mark. Let me get through this. Dennis Smith Jr., 20 years old, 12.9 points per game. 3 rebounds per game, 4.3 assists per game. He shoots 44% from the field, 34.4% from the 3 line. Second year in the league. Waive him, trade him, keep him.
Let me ask you a question, Sim. I would wait on him. I would wait this year on him. I want to go after Malcolm Brogdon. I would use him as a trade chip for next year because I don't think Milwaukee is going to have the money to pay him because they got to pay Middleton and everything. I want Malcolm Brogdon for this team because when you watch the kid, he defends. He can shoot the three. He's a shooter. He shoots over he's 50, 95 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a pro tip. He is what Kyrie Irving is going to need. He has to be our Marcus Smart to Kyrie Irving. Even though Kyrie can play defense, but we're going to need Kyrie Irving more on the offensive end. So I will hold on to Dennis Smith as a trade kicker to get Malcolm Brogdon when he's a free agent this year. I want him on this squad.
Okay.
That is a player.
Okay. Dennis Smith Jr. is 21. Yeah, he might be 21. I apologize. Semantics there, Ralph Unreal. 20. Yeah. He can drink now, I guess. If he's 21, he can drink now. Apologize for that.
He's going to be pricey in the future. That's why.
Who I got on the line? Isaiah, what would you do?
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm really not the biggest fan of Dennis Smith. I really am not.
Mm-hmm.
I keep him. He does have a lot of potential. He has to grow on me because I think the scary part is I think this is kind of his kind of guy, which I don't really approve of that kind of guy because I just don't think that's what the Knicks need. But he has a lot of potential, so I guess they're going to keep him. So
okay, all right. Last thing, I want to get to this. I know the game is going to be on soon. Kyrie Irving made noise today. Right, he made a lot of noise with his comments today. I want you to listen to what Kyrie. Just listen to his comments a little bit. All right. Let me know when I hit play, Isaiah. Just let me know you can hear it.
And well, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I feel is best for my career.
I can hear it.
And
I can hear it.
That's just where it stands. And my focus this season is winning a championship with the Boston Celtics. Obviously we had goals coming into the season, and the primary goal is to win championships. So that's where my focus is.
Has your mindset shifted though in regards to re-signing with Boston, like the announcement?
Ask me July 1st.
And did something happen? Did something change?
No, I'm gonna just do what's best for me. That's where it really comes down to. I'm just trying to be a human being, trying to make the best decision for me and my family. So, obviously, things this season haven't gone as I planned. And that's part of being on a team where you're still trying to figure things out. But at the end of the day, like I said, I spent the last 8 years trying to do what everybody else wanted me to do in terms of making my decisions and trying to validate through the media, through other personnel, managers, anybody in this business. And I don't owe anybody. So.
And there you go, Kyrie Irving, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he had today. Listen, Mark was excited. Mark said to me as soon as he got on, he said, when I heard Kyrie Irving, that really made me change in the way that I was feeling. Really made me change the way that I was feeling. Does that make you change? If you were upset at this trade, does it make you change the way that you felt about it? Knowing that now Kyrie Irving is all of a sudden up in the air in Boston. Right? What's it make you feel, Isaiah? What's up?
So what does it make me feel? I naturally, I got excited, but also this is the same guy that in October, in front of a whole crowd, said, would you take? I would come back if you take me. See, this is my thing about Kyrie. I literally, this is a scary thing about me with Kyrie. I can't read the guy. I really can't read the guy, son. Yes. That was encouraging for the Knicks, and I do think he peeped that we got cap space, and I do think he sees that we can get Kevin Durant, which I do strongly believe we will, and especially if Golden State wins. I think we're almost 80% chance if Golden State wins the championship to say that we get Kevin Durant. But I don't know, Sim.
Okay.
My heart wants me to say yes, but my mind is saying Kyrie, this could be the same guy next week saying, I love Boston and I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't, again, I'm excited. I was excited when I heard it, but it's just, I went back to say, this is the same guy in October before the season started saying he wanted to stay in New York. He wanted to stay in Boston. So, listen, like he said, we'll see January 1st. Because that pretty much sounds like
July 1st.
The day of January 1st, we will know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Mark.
I'm just being realistic.
Yeah.
I'm just being
Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Like when you listen to Kyrie, it's almost like you listen to Kobe. Like he's cryptic. You got to comprehend what he said. Even when he said what he said in Boston, it's "if you have me." Basically, when he put that out, he's telling Danny Ainge, "Make sure you have my money, every single bit of it. I don't want less. I want every single bit of it." That's what it was for. That's why he put it out like that. The Knicks. If he's available for us, the Knicks is going to throw him the boat. What you should be worried about is Kevin Durant more than anything. Why? Because this kid don't know who he is as a person. That's why he went to Golden State. It helped him to find himself. He still don't have an identity. You can't really gauge Kevin Durant whatsoever. I can gauge Kyrie because he don't owe Boston nothing. Gordon Hayward is injured. It messed up the whole thing. Listen to what he was talking about the team and what it was supposed to be when he got. Him and Gordon Hayward was supposed to take off. The young players ain't respecting him. This was going on, and he wants to be known as a leader. So this is the thing is.
Hold on for a minute, Mark. Hold on for 1 minute. I want to listen to this real quick.
To continue that relationship in that meeting.
First of all, I just want to thank
Scott Perry,
for all his efforts.
He's militant. He's a boss.
I've been here with him the past couple of years and wish him nothing but the best. He's a true professional. We were able to build a relationship over the last couple of years, but as of recently, it just seems like we started to get the sense that he was not totally, in or committed. And then when he came in and met with us, he, expressed his desire to not, return with us and be traded. And that was pretty much it. And, obviously, we wished him well and we're going to move forward. And so we ended up executing a trade that we think is very good for us and our organization and our fan base. And we're excited about it.
How would you characterize how the relationship with Kristaps ended?
I think it was fine. Again, respect his decision. At the end of the day, respect that he was, open with us. And we've always felt that we've been open with him. So I think that's how it ended. And so, again, just wishing the very best.
How much pressure do you feel to sign a big name or two big names this free agency?
No, I don't look at it as pressure at all. Again, we talked about a very sustainable building process when we got here, building through the draft, developing a lot of young players, becoming more athletic. And so that's still part of our plan. We were able to create a lot of financial flexibility in the deal that we made. We're going to be very opportunistic. If we're fortunate enough to land, a top free agent, great, but that's not the end-all be-all for us this summer. We're going to continue with our gradual, steady, prudent build that we're on. We're excited about it, and we know we're going to be a very good team in years to come.
Scott, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Cassidy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was
after the break. We'll bring you lineups, tip-off, plus show you how.
That was Scott Perry, speaking to the media before the Knicks and Celtics tip-off. Now, he says in that interview that he's not going to, they're still looking at a slow build. He's going to say that, right? He's going to say that. They're still looking at a slow build, slow rebuild. Do you believe him? French Unicorn, what's poppin', man? I don't know if you heard Scott Perry talking, but do you believe him? He said, given our cap space, it's still going to be a slow rebuild.
Yeah, I just saw that. I watched it live. Who's Mark, man? You recovered from yesterday?
Bro, you see how quick it happened?
Oh man, I watched the whole stream live, but I couldn't get on.
Bro, my whole thing is I was invested into a player that I like. It's my preference, so I'm going to be mad of a player that I believe in that's going to be great. Got traded that quick. Like, I heard that he was in there for 5 minutes and got traded. That's any emotional human being. Y'all want to be a robot?
I feel your pain. I definitely feel your pain. But
I'm over it now because I can watch him in Dallas and be great because they have a great development system over there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to what
the topic.
Scott Perry said.
I believe Scott Perry. I don't feel like he's changed any of his what he said from the beginning. But I also do believe if we made this trade yesterday, I believe somehow, some way, we know something that they know something that we don't know.
Go ahead.
Okay. Somebody might have already committed to us You know, somebody back channels might have said, you know, I'm coming to you guys next year.
Well, the word is that Kevin Durant's people have let the Knicks know that he's coming.
Y'all
That's the rumor. That is the rumor. That's the rumor.
Sim. When they made the move for Cat Space, that was what Kevin Durant wanted, so he can choose who he wants to play with. He was never going to come here by himself. So when he opened up both of them, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad because Porzingis he just didn't feel comfortable here with this organization because he had 4 coaches in 4 years, and you have to understand a player like that. So he went somewhere better.
Did you hear the latest rumor?
Wait. Yeah, go ahead.
The latest rumor is that he's ready to come back and he doesn't trust how the Knicks were ready to handle that.
Yeah.
He has to be traded.
Yeah, because the Knicks didn't want him to come back to play. And remember when I said we got to see if he's healthy for those 15 games. Yeah. But the Knicks didn't want to play him. They did not want to play him because they want to tank.
What'd you say, Isaiah?
I wanted to say, before you hang up, I wanted to say a few things before we go.
I'm gonna be moving on in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes as soon as this game comes on, and then I'll catch you. Of course, I'll be back at halftime. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not subscribed,
don't leave the stream fresh, Unicorn.
If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'm sorry about that. Please do so. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. All right, just hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Ring the notification bell. You get a notification anytime that I go live. We're gonna finish this off in just a minute so that you can go ahead and finish watching this. Finish watching the game, and we'll be back on at halftime. Just real quick about concerning the Celtics and the Knicks. This year, well, I mean, this is just a crazy game. You know what I mean? I haven't had a chance to see what the starting lineups are going to look like, who the Knicks are going to start. I'm thinking Kadeem Allen instead of Alonzo Trier. I think Kadeem Allen should start tonight instead of Alonzo Trier at the point guard spot. Damian Dotson at the 2. This is just what I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, that's what's happening, Sim.
What'd you say?
That's what's happening.
What'd you say?
That's actually what's the starting lineup.
Okay. So the game is rocking. Okay, Damian Dotson at the 2. Who's at the 3? Kevin Knox at the 3.
Noah Vonleh,
Lance
and Luke
Thomas.
Cornett.
Okay, Luke Cornett. And Noah Vonleh and Luke Cornett. All right. Well, this is what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna head off. All right. I'm gonna let you guys.
I had a whole speech. You're killing me, man. You're killing me, Small.
What'd you say? You say you had a whole speech? Well, you have to hit us at halftime, man. Hit us at halftime. I'll let people go watch the game. I'll be back at halftime, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we'll be back at halftime, live and direct at halftime, so we can talk some more about the game. And, things are going to go on with Kyrie Irving. The crowd is going to serenade Kyrie and all that good stuff. We will be back. We will be back at halftime. All right.